About 4,000 years ago, a single man stood against an entire army of monsters. His power was overwhelming, leaving his enemies in disbelief that he was human. When they asked who he was, he answered, "I am Lucas Trauman, the greatest archmage, a 9-star mage and the apostle of justice." The monsters mock the idea that a mere human could rival them. He dismisses their outdated mindset, saying that when someone like him achieves everything he wants, he starts helping others. "It's called volunteering," he says. As the monsters continue to underestimate him, Lucas unleashes a powerful spell, overwhelming them with ease. Standing tall, he declares, "Humans aren't as weak as you think." One of the enemies, stunned, can only think, "Your ego is quite extreme, Lucas Trauman." Lucas stands before a Tita, demigod, one of the divine beings who govern the laws of the world. The demigod accuses Lucas of breaking those laws and destroying the foundation known as the Ptisan House. Lucas mocks the idea of divine order, saying, "Would a world built on laws end up like this?" Despite his power, Lucas is suddenly restrained by godly hands and completely drained of mana. For the months of doubting God, he is sentenced to eternal exile in darkness, where he will endlessly suffer. Present day. At a magic academy, bullies torment a boy, the third son of the prestigious Blake family. Unlike his gifted siblings, he has no talent for magic and is seen as a disgrace to his family and school. He's mocked, beaten, and humiliated, yet endures it all in silence. One of them mocks him, "You won't die unless I say so." He admits he enjoys hitting Frey over and over again. Even as Frey begs them to stop, a kick to the face cuts his plea short. Frey lies on the ground after the beating. The bullies leave, throwing a parting remark, "Get some sleep, we'll hang tomorrow." He clenches his fist and thinks, "I want to be stronger." At this time, Lucas hears a voice, as if from far away. He thinks he's going crazy, remembering how much time has passed. Hundreds of years. No, thousands. He ponders the punishment for rebelling against a god, and he hears the same voice again. "I want to be stronger." Lucas realizes that this may not be a hallucination, but the voice of his past, and realizes, "I was such a weak man." Frey approaches his father, hoping for acknowledgement, but is coldly rejected. His father commands him to disappear from his life, unable to tolerate weakness within the Blake family. When Frey asks if being weak is truly a sin, his father harshly silences him, declaring that their house has no place for those who can't strive for strength. A young man desperate to grow stronger is mocked, humiliated, and blamed for his weakness. Surrounded by scorn and isolation, he collapses, believing it's all his fault. Just as he reaches his lowest point, an ancient seal within him begins to break. As he lies on the brink of death, someone appears, Lucas, finding Frey's lifeless body in a place where no one should be. In his final thoughts, Frey wishes, "If I can be reborn someday, I'll become the strongest. I'll soar higher than anyone and watch the world from above." Lucas Trauman suddenly finds himself in the body of Frey Blake. After 4,000 years, he has finally returned. Staring at the moon, he vows revenge on the demigod who destroyed him. He begins training, but can't use his full power due to Frey's limitations. Lucas realizes he must regain and surpass his former strength to face a demigod. Soon he reaches 5-star level. His path to power has just begun. The bullies talk about how they're excited to beat up Frey again. One of them mentions seeing sleeping pills in Frey's hand. It looks like he was planning to take his own life. Meanwhile, Lucas, now in Frey's body, finishes purging the toxins from it. He heads to the academy, where everyone is shocked by how much he eats. Something is clearly different about him. Lucas, a 4,000-year-old mage, finds himself in a class full of teenagers. He thinks, I have to study with kids. I need to understand how the world works now. He enters the classroom. All eyes turn to him. A bully sticks out his leg to trip him and smirks. Finally here, buddy. A thug approaches Frey and demands 10 lunch tickets, blaming him for losing his own. Lucas watches and recalls that people like this have always been around, pushy and shameless. When the thug tries to hit him, Lucas dodges and knocks him out with a single punch. Everyone is shocked by Lucas's strength. The thug ends up bloodied in the corner. Class begins and the teacher seems pleased. There are many female students, especially the pretty Isabel, who catches his eye. Suddenly, he notices Frey and is surprised to see him. He asks why Frey has been absent. Frey calmly replies that he was busy. The teacher is annoyed, questioning what could be more important than his class. The professor gives Lucas a quiz. If he can't answer even one question, he'll have to do assignments all year. The first question: name 3 items used by King Kasajin. Hearing the name, Lucas is shocked. Kasajin was his friend in a past life. Flashback to 4,000 years ago. Kasajin is training in the mountains, unleashing a massive blast of energy. His power is overwhelming, truly legendary. Lucas Trauman laughs at the idea that Kasajin is now considered a mage, saying he was just someone who did nothing but train. During class, the professor asks a question, but one student can't answer. Suddenly, Isabel steps in, pointing out that the question isn't related to the subject they're studying. Lucas remarks that she talks like a soldier. Isabel states that Kasajin wasn't a mage. He was a warrior who only used mana to enhance his body. The professor approaches her and asks if she's disrespecting those who follow the path of magical warriors. Isabel calmly replies that she simply believes it's a misinterpretation. When the professor calls Kasajin a magic warrior, Lucas is outraged. He says it's an insult. Kasajin was a martial artist, not a magician, and would have fought to the death over such a claim. The professor, intrigued, suggests continuing the debate privately with Isabel, but she rejects him and slaps him. Angered, the professor asks her to name Kasajin's equipment. Lucas answers instead: the Tiger King's glove, the giant's belt, and the Gale necklace. He adds that Kasajin was a minimalist. Those were his only items. Everyone is shocked. The professor, initially confident in his own correctness, is unexpectedly forced to admit that Lucas was right. Lucas, overjoyed, celebrates his small victory with confidence. But the mood shifts quickly. The professor abruptly grabs Isabel by the arm and demands that she follow him to his laboratory immediately. This action draws Lucas's attention and disapproval. With a calm but sarcastic tone, Lucas addresses the professor. Professor, do you remember what the great warrior Kasajin used to say? Love and affection are evil thoughts that distract a mage. A true warrior must see women as mere rocks. Those who fall into such temptations won't even be able to stand on their own feet. Then, after a pause, he adds, with a pointed look, but seeing how you're standing there just fine, maybe Kasajin was wrong. The professor is left speechless, visibly shaken.